On today's primetime local news, Border City buildings on the verge of breakdown while council has the fire station as top priority in their budgets.
The building is built in the 40s. It needs a lot of work.
And residents in Lloydminster gear up for the largest Christmas market in the Midwest.
Oh, it's exciting. It's a really good show, and it's a very exciting, very friendly atmosphere.
Plus, what the local men's shelter is doing to help more people during this cold winter season.
Hey, I'm Eric Bay, and today we are here with the Lloydminster Social Action Coalition Society, checking out their new drop-in center available to all newcomers who need a little bit of place to stay out of the cold and get a bite to eat as well. So we're going to have all you need to know from here throughout the show.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, I'm Judy Gabriel. Border City buildings on the verge of breaking down could get an upgrade. City Council announced that they'll be putting high priority on a few vital buildings in the city. Josh Ryan has more on the most pressing building, the Lloydminster Fire Station 1.
After a year of keeping costs relatively tight, a number of challenges face City Council this budget season.
The challenge is we didn't expect 5 buildings to be in the kind of condition that they came back in. So we're trying to look for beyond the curve.
We're trying to balance out what are the ongoing operational costs, what are they going to be over the next few years, and what's the best way to address this infrastructure deficit.
The prominent building from the 2019 report that has facilities that have reached end of life is Fire Station 1.
The building is built in the 40s. It needs a lot of work. And at what point do you throw good money after bad and try and rehab a building that really, in the end of the day, judging by all the reports we got, isn't worth rehabbing?
It's an add-on in needs after having made staffing model changes in recent years.
We have changed the model of the fire department over the last 2 years, and we're still feeling some of the effects of that model. Going from a volunteer fire department to a composite fire department where we have full-time firefighters now able to respond directly to a fire.
The likelihood of simply upgrading the current facility is low.
In our current accommodations, if you drive by Fire Hall 1, you'll see a ATCO trailer parked out back where our firefighters are sleeping at night. It's not ideal.
Any changes will have to take into account funds needed for other facilities, even with the station as top priority.
We need to look at the Civic Center's report and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle that's not going to come very simple.
Some of that decision-making will come after hearing feedback at Your Voice Night.
It'd also be, I think, an opportunity for people to see, I guess, and confront, if you like, where we're at with the budget, in particular on infrastructure and some of the decisions.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local News.
Well, snow has officially made its mark here in the Border City, which means temperatures are dropping. And the Lloydminster Men's Shelter is in need of some winter clothing items.
We're especially looking for, mitts and gloves. If people have old ski pants, if they're not skiing anymore, we will take them. Coats, boots, anything that'll keep people warm and dry in the winter.
They're also in need of some food items for warm and healthy meals, which can all be dropped off at the shelter at any time.
We want to make sure that we're providing people with nutritious meals that are going to, fill them up and give them those vitamins that they need to, because they're burning off a lot in the winter with the cold. So, canned goods, dry goods, spices and seasonings, anything that we can put into hearty soups and stews and things like that.
During the day, people are able to go to their drop-in center from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. They also offer a hot breakfast in the morning and lunch in the afternoon. Well, many people may not know this, but a disease that affects more people than you may think is celebrating awareness today. World Diabetes Day is here to promote the role of family and friends in the management, care, and prevention of all types of diabetes. Diabetes can come in 3 different types, type 1, type 2, and the least known, gestational diabetes. The World Health Organization's latest study showed over 425 million people worldwide have diabetes, and 1/3 of Canadians have the disease. While 90% of them have type 2, it's not just everyday people that deal with this disease. The list of celebrities with type 1 and type 2 diabetes include Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Max Domain, George Canyon, and Nick Jonas, just to name a few. It's the one of the most anticipated events of the year, and the Christmas Craft Fair kicks off tomorrow, and all the vendors are gearing up for the largest market in the Midwest. This will be the 31st year for the craft fair. With over 300 vendors, anyone can find the perfect gift to fit your holiday spirit.
Well, there's books, there's your jams and your jellies, and there's Christmas ornaments and paintings and knitted stuff and baked stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Past Christmas craft fairs have seen roughly between 10 to 15,000 people. One of the big reasons people have been coming back from the past 3 decades is the friendly environment and caring community.
Oh, it's exciting. It's a really good show, and it's a very exciting, very friendly atmosphere. It's just like another family.
Vendors aren't only from the sister provinces. Many more have come down from across Canada. For 3 decades, Image Press has provided printing services in Lloydminster. Over that time, a lot of changes have occurred in the printing process. Eric Bay has more in this week's BioClean Business Bio.
Fulfilling any business's printing needs, including promotional products, Image Press is able to finish orders quickly thanks to their process of offset printing.
We do a full line of printing and we do a lot of promotional products. Offset printing is a rotary process where paper goes through at a very high rate of speed. Some offset presses go up to 10,000 sheets per hour, which is very, very quick. Normal digital printing is a lot slower.
Image Press covers orders for a wide range of businesses in Lloydminster with their ability to print quickly and in a variety of sizes.
We do printing for a wide range of different industries. We print for education industry. Our largest client is the oil industry.
Over the years, Image Press has continued to evolve and grow as times have changed and technology has continued to improve, using some of the quickest machines in the area.
I started out working on the light table, composing film and doing tight register cutting with a X-Acto knife to make it just perfect. Now everything's done on the computer. What would take me a day to compose now takes our computer artists minutes. So the field has changed quite a bit.
More on Image Press can be found at their website. And that's this week's BioClean Business Bio.
Business Bio, brought to you by BioClean. Call the Bio Team, 1-833-246-8326. The Disaster Specialists.
And now to the drop-in center where Eric Bay was on location earlier today.
Back here with the Lloydminster Social Action Coalition Society, and today we are talking about their new drop-in center, which has been going on now for about a week, and I'm joined now by Riley Gilroyd. And so first off, can you tell us a little bit about the drop-in center and what you guys are doing here?
Yeah, so basically here at the drop-in center, we want to offer food, we want to offer a warm shelter to those who don't have it this time of the year specifically. We're open to any and all populations, right? Men, women, children, anybody of all ages, specifically also focusing on people that, are either under the influence of drugs and or alcohol. They're more than welcome to come here as well. So we want to be able to offer that warmth and that love and that support basically especially through this time of the year. And especially in this economy and in these circumstances. So within our food services, we have food services that are offered every single day through breakfast. So typically hot meals like porridge is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we also have lunches Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well.
And you mentioned there giving that support, especially at this time. So just really quick, is that kind of why you guys did want to start this up here, especially this winter?
Well, I think that there's an absolute need, and I think, a lot of people are coming forward and saying that, this is, perhaps something that's been long overdue for the city of Lloydminster, and, to be a part of this and to be able to fulfill this need and kind of fill in the cracks where those needs lie, I think it's really essential for our community.
All right, thank you for this, and we're going to have some more from back here again, continuing with the drop-in center, but before that, we are going to head back into the studio.
It is -4 here in Lloydminster currently. It's fairly cloudy, but we do see some clearing up in the sky. It wasn't too bad today. Throughout today, it was actually not pretty nice out. 13-kilometer-per-hour wind coming in from the east-southeast, so making it feel like closer to -9. There's a chance that overnight there could be just a tiny bit of freezing rain and a little bit of fog patches that will hopefully dissipate by tomorrow morning, but definitely keep an eye out for that, as that it could occur. Across the region, -5 out in Cold Lake, -2 in Athabasca and Whitecourt, 0 in Edmonton and Edson and Rocky Mountain House, 1 in Jasper and in Red Deer. And on the Saskatchewan side, -4 in North Battleford and Saskatoon, -10 in Melfort, -6 in Prince Albert, and -7 out in Meadow Lake. In North Battleford, overnight, they'll be sitting at -7 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, and the wind will pick up just a little bit to 19 kilometers per hour coming in from the east-southeast. And then tomorrow, it'll cool down just a little bit to 17 kilometers per hour coming in from the southeast, sitting at a high of +2 with a mix of sun and cloud, where they'll see mostly cloudy skies throughout the afternoon. And out in Cold Lake overnight, a little bit of cloud coverage with a low of -8, and the wind will slow down just a little bit to 13 kilometers per hour coming in from the southeast, and then slow down just a little bit more tomorrow at 11 kilometers per hour coming in from the east, sitting at a daytime high of 1 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Here in Lloydminster overnight, -6 with the wind, 17 kilometers per hour coming in from the southeast with mostly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow, a daytime high of +1 with a mix of sun and cloud, and the wind will slow down to 11 kilometers per hour coming in from the east with a low of -6 tomorrow. And then on Saturday, to start your weekend, a mix of mostly cloudy skies with a high of +1 and a low of -2. And then on Sunday, a high of +4 and a low of -2. That wraps up your 3-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. It's been a tough year for canola producers, starting with Canada's trade dispute with China, and now a wet harvest season adding stress on growers. Eric Bay has more on the farmers' outlook heading into winter in this week's agricultural report.
Cooler temperatures and lots of precipitation left farmers struggling to get crops in the bin, forcing producers to deal with declining quality or even stuck with crop still in the field.
I will probably go on record to say that this has really been a horrible year for harvest. There's some areas that it's really bad, where there's a lot of crop left out, and the crop that is left out is of poor quality, so it's quite unfortunate.
Canola left in the field will continue to deteriorate over the winter, further diminishing farmers' yields.
Big losses in quality, and canola can especially be a lot of losses. 50% is what we've seen other years. It can vary a lot. Some fields, if it just depends on the conditions and how the snow comes, whether there's lots of snow or a little bit of snow, it seems to affect it.
For producers that manage to get most of their crop in the bin, there is still work to be done to keep from losing their yield in storage.
I think farmers just need to be very careful if they are storing some of this stuff, because it took all that work to get it off and get it into the bin. We don't want to lose it now, but there are some resources out there to help kind of coach through. But now with all the heavy frost and everything else, I don't expect a lot to change, unfortunately.
The tough conditions faced in the Lloydminster area this year are not unique, with multiple Alberta counties declaring states of agriculture emergency. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Centre. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Centre with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
And now here are your agricultural prices for today.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
the hardwood now with the Rustlers, who hosted the Keano College Huskies in back-to-back home games this past weekend. On both the men's and the women's sides, these were some of the top teams taking part. For the men, both the Huskies and the Rustlers only had one loss, and for the women, the Huskies hadn't lost a game coming in. The Rustlers men saw why the Huskies only had one loss, and it's greatly due to former North ACAC Rookie of the Year, Stefan Jovcic. Jovcic had 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks on Friday, and followed up with 19 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists the next night. The Rustlers take on Concordia this upcoming weekend, who have a similar weapon.
They have another big guy like today, 23. They have Bacon, so we're going to be in for another. We're a smaller team, so we got to box out, play strong. So
the women had different results, winning 67-63 and 64-57. Depth from the Rustlers was a big reason the Rustlers extended their win streak to 5.
We got 10 players dressed right now. We know all 10 can contribute, and we really had 8 girls that were scoring threats at times this weekend. So we're not a team that's going to say, hey, you got to score 30 points. If we get a bunch of 10s, we're very hard to stop.
The Rustlers aren't just succeeding on the floor. A record 27 Lakeland College athletes were awarded CCAA National Scholar Awards for having a 3.5 GPA or higher. While between the 110 student athletes at Lakeland, the group average was a 3.1. Athletic Director Alan Rogan wants this to improve even more.
Almost like teams who are competing in competition, they want to see their teams always improve. And on the academic side, as a department, we definitely want to see our kids continue to strive for academic excellence.
And now to our Abby St. John, who's got the weather.
Thanks, Evan. Well, taking a look at our satellite radar over the next couple of hours, as you can see, snow and a mix of freezing rain and snow is making its way into the Lakeland region, but it's more up north than it is hitting here. But there is a chance that overnight there could be a little bit of freezing drizzle, not so much heavy downpour, and there may be also fog patches heading into tomorrow morning, which should dissipate early in the morning. So it shouldn't be anything too concerning, but it is making its way through here. So on Friday, there is a possibility that in the evening that we could see some freezing rain, hopefully ending around midnight. But that is always something to be cautious about going into Saturday, whereas the snow, the roads and sidewalks could be icy over there. Nothing too serious on the Saskatchewan side. A little bit of snowfall in the Meadow Lake, North Battleford, and Maidstone region, but nothing too severe or concerning. Current temperatures, -4 still here in Lloydminster, as well as in North Battleford, -1 in Macklin, -5 in Maidstone, -6 in St. Walburg and Meadow Lake, -7 in Pearslin, -9 in Green Lake, and -11 up in Isle Cross. And on the Alberta side, -5 in Marwayne and Cold Lake, -1 in Provost and Wainwright, -2 in Vermilion, 0 in both Vegreville and in Edmonton, -4 in St. Paul and Lac La Biche, and -6 in Bonnyville. Now, tomorrow's temperatures, +1 is the daytime high here for Lloydminster, as well as in Marwayne, Cold Lake, and Bonnyville, 3 in Provost and Edmonton, 2 in Wainwright, Vermilion, Vegreville, 0 in St. Paul and Lac La Biche. And on the Saskatchewan side, 3 in Macklin, 2 in North Battleford, 1 in Maidstone and Meadow Lake and Pearslin, -1 in St. Walburg and in Green Lake, and -3 out in Isle Cross. Overnight across the region, fairly clear skies in some parts, a little bit more cloud coverage in areas like Bonnyville, so definitely be cautious about that. But the temperatures aren't as cool as they were last night, except up in Isle Cross. It is -12 overnight, but other temperatures ranging between -9 and -4 overnight, so nothing too cold. In Wainwright, it's going to be mostly clear skies overnight, so that will definitely be nice. Across Canada now, -20 up in Yellowknife, 2 in Whitehorse, 9 in Vancouver, -5 in Regina. Quebec City is experiencing some snowfall at -7, -3 in St. John's, where it's fairly clear, as well as in Winnipeg, it is fairly clear overnight at -9, and -3 in Halifax. Over the next 7 days, tomorrow mostly mostly sunny skies, a little bit of cloud coverage, and a high of +1 and a low of -6. And then on Saturday, a little bit more cloud coverage with a high of +1 and a low of -2. Low of -2 also on Sunday with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 4. And then to start your week off on Monday, it'll be mostly sunny skies, a little bit of cloud coverage throughout the day with a high of +4 and a low of +2. And then on Tuesday, it's 0 degrees is the high with mostly cloudy skies and a low of -5. And then on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, a little bit of cloud with a high of -3 and a low of -5. And then on Thursday, same deal, a little bit of mix of sun and cloud throughout the day with a high of -1 and a low of -10. That wraps up your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news and the question of the day coming up after the break.
Once again, we are back here with the Lloydminster Social Action Coalition Society, and we are checking out their new drop-in center that has just started up about a week ago now. And once again, Riley Gilroy joins me here. Now we've talked, you guys have just started this up, and you are looking for some help in the form of volunteers. Can you talk about what you guys are looking for there?
Absolutely. So, I mean, any nonprofit or any successful organization is based on volunteers and the time that they donate. It's very essential to us being able to run this philosophy, right, about being able to keep people warm and keep people fed and just keep people in that state of support. So we're looking for any and all volunteers throughout the week. Sometimes we'll have people work during the morning, sometimes we'll have people work in the afternoons, sometimes people will take the whole day and join us. So whether it's an ongoing thing or whether it's a once in a blue moon experience that everybody wants to experience, we're all for that. And so any and all support from volunteers is necessary and appreciated.
And then piggybacking off that as well, donations you guys are looking for. So what do you guys kind of need there? And if so, how can people get involved either by donating or, again, we mentioned volunteering?
Yeah, like on top of volunteering time and donating time, I think donating clothing, food, accessories such as toiletries are all very essential, to people that may not have that. And I think, specifically with warm jackets, with gloves, socks, those are the key things that we're kind of looking for, specifically this time of the year.
And now we did mention too, you guys have just started this up this year, but you mentioned to me off camera, you guys have seen quite a bit of usage, so far. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I think we've been able to kind of get the word out there, and eventually we want to get our grand opening out, and that way we're able to spread the word a little bit more. So I think as soon as we get more volunteers, we get more of that community support, we'll be up and running, and hopefully by then everyone will know who we are.
And now just really quick too, if people are wanting to help volunteer or donate, how do they either get in contact with you to do that or just to drop off some stuff?
And they can certainly stop by the drop-in center. We're just located right across the street from the May Cinema Theater, the St. John's Anglican Church to be exact, and we're just at the back door there. Also, I can be reached on my work cell, 306-821-2976, if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns.
All right, thank you for this, and we are going to have some more from back here again, continuing to talk about the new drop-in center here in Lloydminster, but before that, we're going to head back into the studio.
Well, it's an exciting time for people that are streaming movies and television shows. Of course, the question of the day. In its first day, Disney Plus had over 10 million subscribers. How will the streaming wars affect consumer dollars? Let me tell you, I think a lot of people are excited to have a lot of different things, but I think it's going to cost a bit of a dollar.
Yes,
for all
it
of them.
is, especially since all of these other services are coming out. Apple TV, HBO is a strange one to me because a lot of HBO shows and Showtime are on Crave or are available on Crave. So them having their own service kind of doesn't make sense because they have Crave, but they're definitely just getting into the game. Yeah. Basically, it's going to be very hard for people to choose. And, then we have all these streaming services competing against each other. A couple of the comments, one said, seems like they're just recreating cable TV. Funny how streaming services were created to get us away from multiple different channels, but they are all becoming their own channel, which we'll have to subscribe to. Then they won't make as much money, so they'll start having to air ads to cover the cost, and we're back where we started.
Of course. I think we need one major one that actually accumulates all of them under one umbrella.
Yes.
And then, offers it like the way Shaw Cable and all the other ones had done that before, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens.
And what's interesting is pets that you guys have sent to us. Hopefully you guys send us some more, and these are some of the picks for today. Of course, you get a chance to win a gift card from the Pet Pad. Take a look at the cuties.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
In studio with me are a pair of Aussies from way down under, Tori Dugan and Taylor Pipes of the women's basketball team at Lakeland College. Tori, a veteran, Taylor, a rookie, and you didn't exactly know each other, but somewhat knew of each other before you came. Is that correct?
Yeah, so she played SBL, it's called, back home with my cousin, and I'd heard of her. My parents kind of bragged about her a little bit, but yeah, she didn't know who I was.
And because of that bragging, that caused you to reach out to her, I understand it.
Yeah, so Chris came over last year to recruit, and he went to one of the games that was going on, and yeah, he caught her eye. But yeah, I was obviously a big fan, so yeah.
Okay. And Taylor, what was the selling point for you to come and play in Lakeland?
Well, Chris was really good. He kept contact because he reached out almost a year and a half ago. And so, yeah, he kept contact. We did a lot of Skypes. Tori was constantly talking to me. She obviously was talking up the college a lot. And I guess I just really liked the idea. I thought Chris was a great coach, Tori was a great girl, and I was really excited.
And so as fellow countrymen, and actually from the same city of Perth, has you being a fourth-year athlete, and an older fourth-year athlete, obviously, because you had that year off because of injury, has that made it easier for you to kind of connect with Taylor, to kind of get her used to some of the things culturally, or is there not actually that much you have to adjust to outside of the snow?
There is a little bit to adjust to, like the constant practicing, the wear and tear on your body every single day, I think was a massive thing that I had to adjust to, but then also school and whatnot. It's very easy to get off track, which I'll openly admit I did in my first year, so I think that I can use that to my advantage, and I made some mistakes in my first year to say, hey, like, this is what you can do to stay on track and whatnot, but yeah, I think mainly, apart from being homesick, the wear and tear of constantly practicing every day, weights, conditioning, and then practices and whatnot. We don't have that back home. We practice like maybe 3 times a week with the Pro League, but aside from that, yeah, I think that would have been the biggest adjustment.
And was it nice for you, Taylor, knowing that you had a fellow Perthian, if that's a phrase, to going into school that can relate to some of the things you probably experienced?
Yeah, it was really good, like having Tori being here already, and she was constantly talking to me, and I did kind of get to know her before I came here, so it did make it easier in that sense that I already had someone. Couldn't imagine coming here knowing no one, so.
And obviously both of you are enjoying a few wins thus far into the season, the best start for the program in years.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest difference compared to last year? Because obviously there's a lot of continuity on the roster. Taylor's one of the only newcomers who's really in the rotation getting major minutes. But what is it about this team specifically from last year? Is it just that you've grown from mistakes, or is it just you're more used to each other and have more chemistry?
I think every time you get older, like there's an older team, you have more experience, and you can't beat experience, and you're always getting better as you get older. But obviously, yeah, we got bronze last year, and now we know what it takes and what we have to do to get to reaching that gold medal and going to nationals and winning gold at nationals. But yeah, like the experience we bring, everyone, I think people have stepped up at different times. I think the rookies have done a really good job coming in and being a part of that as well. So.
As one of those rookies, Taylor, what's been the biggest challenge for you? Obviously, you had an ankle injury earlier in the year, so that's limited a little bit of your effectiveness on the defensive end, certainly. What's been, outside of that, what's been the biggest challenge playing at the ACAC level?
I think it's just a very different style to back home, and adjusting to how Chris would like me to play is a big thing as well. Back home, I was more of a driver, but here he wants me to be able to play all positions on the floor, be able to shoot and drive. He really wants my defense, but as you said, with my injury at the start of the season, that didn't come easily, but hopefully we're on the mend for that one.
And now you guys have a very big weekend coming up against Concordia, a team that you've had some very intense games in the past against, and will likely have some moments of intensity this weekend. In order to keep that winning streak going, what's the main focus for you guys, real quick?
I think just competing all 4 quarters. I think we've had some lapses. We haven't consistently played all 4 quarters, but just playing with that grit and working hard every single quarter. But locking out defensively, getting out and running. Obviously, that's our philosophy: get stops, getting out and pushing the ball. But yeah, it's going to be gritty, especially in their gym. Knock on wood, we don't particularly play well in their gym, but yeah, we're rolling at the moment, and I don't think we realise how good we are actually playing or could be, even though we've got a lot of fixable things. But yeah, if we can keep it rolling, be in a pretty good position going into second semester.
And anything really, really quick for you to add to that?
I mean, I'm really excited for every game. We're really good at leaving it on the floor, and this is the most family-orientated team I've been in, and we really play for each other. I'm super excited to see how we go.
And you'll have a chance to see how they play for each other this weekend at Lakeland College, as well the Concordia games in Edmonton you can watch on ACAC TV.
There is going to be a great crowd at the Lloydminster Christmas Craft Fair and Chamber Expo. You should see all the incredible vendors that are going to be out here at the Lloyd X this weekend. It's a great opportunity to get your Christmas shopping started, or you know what, maybe even wrap it up, because there's going to be home-based businesses. There's going to be different people who do different crafts with their hands. Just a great selection of different items, and also a great opportunity to visit with the neighbors and to help out some local organizations. Admission is $5, and a portion of those proceeds are going to go to nonprofits here in the community. The doors open at 10 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out at the Lloyd X grounds. Coming up on Saturday night, the Paradise Hill Community Center is hosting a sports celebrity dinner, and they've just announced that also going to be a part of this night is Daryl Sutter, Brian Sutter's brother, and he coached the LA Kings to a Stanley Cup. He also coached with the Calgary Flames in the NHL, so it's going to be quite the night, because also there is world champion curler Rachel Homan. They've got a couple chuck wagon drivers, Buddy Bensmiller and Jamie Labicane. It's going to be a great night, which will include a great meal, steak and shrimp, thanks to Leanne's Catering. If you want to get your tickets for this event on Saturday night, just stop by Paradise Hill Ranch and Western Wear. Some places are slowly starting to decorate for Christmas, and other folks, they are getting ready to celebrate fall and all that it has to offer. In Dewberry on Saturday night, it is their Community Fall Fest, and they're going to start it off with supper at 5 o'clock. Then you've got a chance to dance away the night with music from the Prairie Dogs. That'll get underway at 8 o'clock. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
I'm very pleased to be joined once again by Rufi. Rufi, thank you so much for taking the time to come and visit us today, because you are a busy guy.
Yeah, no problem.
Tell me a little bit about what you're up to, even in the coming weeks and months.
So actually right now I am waiting for I have another concert where I will be promoting myself on November 30th, and it's held by this organization called CEFA in Edmonton, and it is a Christmas concert, and I will be one of the guests for them there. So yeah.
Well, and last time we talked, you had just come back from the competition in the U.S. and you had all your medals with you.
Yeah.
What's come about after the competition as far as deals and contracts and events?
Well, I still have my contract in the U.S. in Hollywood, and I've signed to that, and right now we're just on the process of working on music, writing music, and producing music. And last time I was here, I said that I was hoping to have it done before the end of this year, but since then I realized that it's harder than it actually seems. And some people actually in the Philippines, producers that I've known and loved since I was little, heard about my contracts in the US, and they had offered me other deals, other record deals, so I will be writing with those people as well.
There's so much
Yeah.
happening for you. It must be so exciting. Are you a bit overwhelmed by
It's
everything?
still very, very surreal. It doesn't feel real.
So what happens now when you've got two sets of contracts and these two different sides kind of competing? Can you fulfill both of them, or is it something where it's a little bit more difficult?
It's definitely more challenging on my end to balance two contracts at the same time, because that means having two albums at the same time.
Right.
But at the same time, these are both industry professionals that I have looked up to, and I don't want to let them go. So I want to just work hard to fulfill whatever my goal is, and I'm happy and I feel blessed that I was given the opportunity to be offered those contracts. So
Now, what can we expect on these albums? Will you have a hand in the writing, the producing, and everything, literally?
Yep. Actually, I want to be hands-on on everything. I want to produce my own music, my own lyrics. When I write music and make my albums, I actually want to, I want it to come from my heart, so that anyone who listens to it gets inspired. And I think that's my goal in the end, is to inspire people and share my music with the world.
Now, is there a certain type of music that you kind of find yourself gravitating to? I've had a look at some of your stuff online, and I see there's a little bit of gospel, and there's some pop, and kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So,
well, I like to dip into every genre. If you can see on my social media, I like to do rock, pop, gospel, country even, and but in these albums, I feel like a way that I could express myself would be into the soul and R&B genre.
right, okay.
Yeah.
So that's mainly what they'll be focused on. Is this exciting for you to know that you're this age, like you're this young, and you have such a bright future? You've got all these options already?
Yeah. Oh, it's very, I don't even know what's like, it doesn't feel real, actually. I actually am online schooling now,
Right.
because of everything that's going on, and I don't go to a normal school anymore, so it feels weird, but I'm doing what I love, and I'm doing my passion, so I think that's all that matters.
And you're still kind of living in Lloydminster for now anyways.
Yeah, for now, yeah, I am.
And any plans, or do you see yourself probably likely having to move to a bigger place as this continues to grow?
Yes, me and my family have spoken to each other, and it is decided that I will be based in Hollywood, and Los Angeles, and California.
Wow.
Yep.
So even that's exciting.
Yeah, everything's just, and I'm only 17, so I'm already planning ahead into whatever I want to do.
Yeah. How do you keep grounded when you're 17 and all this has already happened? How do you stay humble?
I think it just comes with my personality, that I just like to interact with people, and like nothing has changed with me ever since I got offered any of the contracts or any of that stuff. I still love doing like what I love to do, and like hanging out with my friends.
Right.
And, yeah. I'm just trying to balance having still my teenage life with like this,
Everything else.
Yeah.
Well, Rufi, if anybody wants to check out your music or follow you, what's the best way? Which social platform is the best way?
I think Instagram would be the social platform, and you'll find my YouTube there as well, and my other social media, and it is Rafi Jag, so RAFIJAG.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem.
It's just amazing all that you've
thank you
accomplished.
so
We're
much.
so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And we wish you much luck with your career in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.